If you smell what The Rock is cooking, The Rock is back in WWE for the second time in a month. This time on Monday Night Raw, he was the surprise former WWE champion to return. Of course, it doesn't come without the troll job that is Jinder Mahal. But welcome, guys, to the show. I'm Johnny T. We got Tribal Cheese here. And say hi to the crowd.
What's going on, everybody? I hope you guys have a good 2024 and you're not sick as a dog like me. So, it's good to be here. Ready to start it off right. Sick as hell.
We can't do these shows during the months of December and January without one of us being sick. So that's just a trend that we're going to I guess we're just going to have to keep on going.
Hey,
But
I have to ask you a question. Who the hell is that down there?
that would be Mrs. Nesbit Zero over here.
Oh, oh hi guys. I'm new to the show, but I'm looking to have a good show tonight. Yeah, if you smell what I'm cooking.
Damn, that's how episode 1 went. I'm pretty sure that's how it was without the hat. So, welcome, guys, to the SPP podcast.
To the new and improved SPP podcast. We have a special guest, Miss Nesbit.
We're stepping up our game this year.
We're bringing in new characters, just like WWE is bringing back their old characters. We're bringing back new ones, or we're bringing on new ones.
We're rebranding them like Mick Foley. You know what I mean? Cactus Jack.
We got the three faces of Zero down there. So we can't wait to meet the third. Oh, we already met the third one the first week. Then we met the second one, and now this is the third face of the Zero verse there.
I guess if Mick Foley has Dude Love, I guess I would be Mrs. Love.
All right, Mrs. Love. I hope you're ready to bring the heat tonight.
Mrs. Love.
You could just call me Mr. Mrs. Zero.
Mrs. Zero. You might want to plug in your mic.
There, Mrs. Zero, Mrs. Zero Nesbit.
I can't find without it.
I swear he's gone for like 2 weeks and he loses his damn mind. But there we go. But that's what we're doing here on this special Day 1 edition of Monday Night Raw, live from San Diego, California. This was the special edition that we had 2 championship matches on, and then of course throughout the last 2 days we were dropped the news that there was going to be a returning former WWE champion that was supposedly going to be returning on this show, which was then teased by Triple H himself, saying that he couldn't confirm the rumors, but you should tune in anyways to find out. Well, that's pretty much confirmation that somebody is returning, and then we opened the show with Michael Cole and Wade Barrett just straight out telling us, yeah, that's happening tonight. So, okay. Get to that segment. And it's a classic WWE troll job by bringing out Jinder Mahal. I shit you not, guys. Like 5 minutes before that segment came on, I was thinking to myself, like, what would be something really stupid for them to do here, right? Let's just not gonna bring out the hot stuff right away. And I was thinking, wait a minute, like a guy like Jinder Mahal or one of those guys that have won the WWE Championship like randomly before, like this might be one of the guys that might actually come out here because that's and it was. There you go. And I was like, I laughed my ass off. I was like, oh my god, surely this is a troll job, and it was. It was to all set up the return of The Rock to Monday Night Raw for what I believe is the first time for him being on Monday Night Raw in a couple of years. He's showed up a couple of times on SmackDown, but on Monday Night Raw, this is the first time he showed up in quite some time. It was also rumored throughout the day that he would probably be the one that would be showing up, and he was spotted with Nick Khan earlier in the day at College Game Day, and he came out to a roarous ovation and gave out what I believe is just your classic Rock promo that just grabs that crowd by the balls and just has them all day, every day, man. The things that The Rock says, it just nobody does a promo like that guy. Very, very few do a promo like that guy. But what was more important about this, of course, you get your classic, beat down of the other guy and all that. What was more important was what he said at the end of this segment, which was that he was going to a restaurant in San Diego. He might sit at a booth, he might sit at the bar, or he might just sit at the head of the table drop mic. So there it is. I think that's where we're headed. I don't know when. I would assume WrestleMania, but I guess we're headed towards the head of the table matchup between him and Roman Reigns in some form or some way. But what a way for The Rock to come back, and I guess we'll find out as the weeks go along where this is going to go. But I think we have a pretty clear-cut direction of the idea of it. So I'll get your thoughts, Mrs. Zero Nesbit, on what you thought about The Rock coming back tonight and basically throwing out the gauntlet challenge to the head of the table, Roman Reigns.
Well, I really liked the whole skit. Jinder Mahal came in and he was, he was talking about USA and USA this and, all I gotta say about Jinder Mahal is, he doesn't know shit about the USA. We rep our town, our city, and our states the best we can. So he needs to not ever talk about the USA again. And then as far as The Rock, well, hold on.
Oh, there he is. Welcome back to the show, Mr. Zero himself.
Mr. Zero.
He is back. How about that?
Still hasn't plugged his mic in, but he's back.
Let me tell you something about The Rock. Rock comes out and, he does the classic, finally, The Rock has come back. Well, let me tell you something. Finally, Mr. Zero is back on, and this is what you've been waiting for all week and the last 2 weeks. I'm back, and I'm here to stay. Mrs. Zero, whoever that was, they're an imposter, and guess what? They won't be back until the next episode, maybe. Who knows? But anyway, yeah, The Rock comes out, and he is the head of the table. You can't be the head of the table if you don't take out the one that created the table, the one that set the table, the one that put the forks and the spoons and the cups. He put the cup holders. He made that table what it is, and Roman Reigns just goes and, oh, I'm the head of the table. I got long hair. The Rock is going to cut that hair off, and you're going to be bald just like him, Roman Reigns.
Okay, the bold prediction from the returning Mr. Zero. Glad to have you back on the show. And so now we go to the tribal cheese, the sickly tribal cheese, and find out what you thought about The Rock finally coming back to Monday Night Raw and the potential of what this does to the whole entire main event scene at WrestleMania.
Yeah,
I guess, right? WrestleMania? I mean, I don't know.
This is bizarre now, right? Because The Rock is back, and this changes, the whole landscape, right? But he's got to get his ass in line at this point because there's a triple threat going on right now for people that want to take down the head of the table, right? There's a triple threat going on right now. So you got Cody, who's still waiting in the wings. And oh, my God, I think we texted right before this, Johnny T, which was poor Cody. If this is, in fact, where they're going to head for WrestleMania, this piece of news of The Rock wanting to challenge Roman Reigns, which I know that they've wanted to do this for a long time now, is really, it's not very good for Cody. Not at all. Mm-hmm. This means that he's not going to get to finish the story this year, or it's not going to be at WrestleMania. That's the other thing. The only other possibility right now that we can think of is that it might be a triple threat between The Rock, Roman, and Cody in there, but that just doesn't kind of seem like the right thing to do when you have a match as big as The Rock and Roman. But I will say this, The Rock looks good, but he doesn't look that good. He looks a little old, and I think that he can promo his ass off all he wants, but the last time he was in a ring, I'm pretty sure he tore like a shit ton of muscles mid-match, and I will say that I don't think he could take down the head of the table right now. I think he should have done this 2 or 3 years ago, maybe when he had a little bit less wear and tear on his body. But coming back right here, right now, The Rock is nowhere near Roman Reigns' level. Roman is greatness on another level. He's in God mode. He's still in God mode. There's nothing that The Rock can do about that right now. It's a little too little, too late. but it will be one hell of a match, I will admit.
Yeah.
I'm down to see that. I think if anybody, Roman can carry him through that match, even if he was to get injured, because Roman is a really good worker. I mean, you can go back and see what he did with Undertaker when Undertaker couldn't perform towards the end of his career. He really did carry him through the match at WrestleMania. It was a tough match, but that might be where we're headed. So I'm down to see it. But you guys are tripping if you think that The Rock is going to take down the greatest of all time.
Now let's not get it twisted here for a minute. I don't know if he will, right? I do know this, at least from my perspective, that this is the last pretty much like big thing you can do in the Bloodline story, right? At this point, the last really, really big, huge thing that Roman Reigns can do in the Bloodline story is beating the one guy he's never competed against, beating the guy that set the plates and the forks and the cups and everything on the table for the rest of his family to come behind him, right? So, this is it. And I guess if you're going to do it, to you going piggybacking off of you a little bit, if you're going to do it, I mean, sure, you would have liked to have probably done this a few years ago, but if you're going to do it, I guess you got to do it now, because the Rock's not getting any younger. He's not getting any less busier either. And the same thing with Roman too. He's not getting any younger. And as he gets older, he obviously, as we've seen over the past, year or 2 years, he's taking more steps back. As far as the time that he's spending on TV and things like that. And I think he's headed within the next 2 to 3 years of just not being an active wrestler anymore. I think he's going to go that route of doing something different just for his health and his family. And that's where he's headed, I think, eventually. So I think if you're not going to do it now, it's probably not going to happen, right? And maybe this is that perfect storm of The Rock's willing to do it at this point. So sorry, Cody, it sucks. But we're not going to get this opportunity to do this again. Yep. And if The Rock's willing to go and say, I'm going to put all my projects aside for 2 months or whatever so that I can do this thing with Roman at WrestleMania 40, which is a big number, 40, right? 40th anniversary of the biggest event in wrestling history. This is the time to do it. I think it means more at that event than it might in 41 next year when he's a year older and Roman's a year. I don't even know where Roman's going to be by next year. So it sucks for Cody. That's where I feel like it really does, because I don't know where his story is going to go from here now, because up until this point, it seemed like you were just headed towards the collision course for a rematch of that match, which I was totally going to be fine with. But if you're going to bring in The Rock now, The Rock's not going to come on to do a one-off pay-per-view at the Rumble or a one-off pay-per-view at Elimination Chamber. He's coming back for that WrestleMania spot, which I also feel like I love The Rock. We all do, right? Legend in this business. But man, like that's another, going back to that whole thing again that we were at a few years back, where these guys are here the whole entire time, building up, and it just takes one guy to say, I'm in, and that guy takes a spot away from these other guys that have you feel like have earned their spot throughout the whole year. But it's The Rock, it is what it is, and the guy's money, and that Roman and Rock match is a bunch of this, a lot of this. And I think now, to your credit too, you might be onto something where this might end up not being just a one-on-one match, although
that takes a little bit of the.
I feel like
the amaziness away from
I feel like for the head of the table, to prove once and for all, I am the head of the table. There's nobody else left. It's got to be one-on-one, right? It can't be
one-on-one.
There can't be anybody in the middle of that. And so it comes down to, well, yeah, maybe Cody can finish his story after WrestleMania, but man, would it mean that much if it happens after WrestleMania? I don't know. I don't know, right? I mean,
it's always 2025 at this point.
If he decides to resign with the company.
Jeez.
After this, I'm not so sure. Like, but yeah. But the Rumble will be interesting because he didn't announce that he was going to be in the Rumble match or anything like that. So how The Rock gets there, I guess remains to be seen over the next couple of weeks. Like you said too, right in the middle of like a program that he's supposed to be doing with the other three guys on SmackDown. So that's got to get to a point too before you can even get there, right? So this was just one of those interesting kind of things. A special moment for sure. A really exciting, cool moment. Always fun to see The Rock. Always fun to see, him talk shit to guys, and it's just nobody does it like him, right? And so it was good to see. But that whole thing at the end there, that's what I was waiting for to see. If this was just one of those, he comes back just for a pop and a good time, or if this was leading to something more, and clearly it looks like it's leading to something more. Then again, maybe he's setting himself up for next year. Who the hell knows?
No, that sounds like a mistake right there. That sounds like a damn mistake.
Like, who the hell
He
knows?
came on day one. He's aiming for WrestleMania because it's like you set the landscape on day one, right? So it's got to be this WrestleMania, which really screws Cody over big time. Like it just no matter how you think about it, because if he's not, I guess they could throw him in the triple threat, but that's not gonna be Cody's moment. Mm-hmm. That's gonna be The Rock's moment forever, right? Sure. And I just feel like it's just not going to work for Cody. Yeah. And if he doesn't get into the damn match, he's never going to finish the story. And he's not going to who the hell is the opponent going to be right now? Like, he's going to have Shinsuke at WrestleMania? Like, they're going to have to like whip something out of his ass, right? Like, because we all pictured Cody taking on the Tribal Chief, right? Like, that's what we thought. So this really screws over his creative. And I have a feeling they decided this all like in a back room somewhere of like, let's make it happen. And Cody is like the last person to know about this shit.
Well, guarantee you, because he's
Cody
not
has no idea that
because he's not a decision maker here. And of course, like what I said at the beginning, it's just one of those things where if this guy of this magnitude is willing to do it and wants to go to wants to do this at WrestleMania, you can't say no to that. You can't tell The Rock, sorry, Rock, like, we can't do that.
No, you can't.
Maybe next year. Maybe next year. No, you're not going to do that to The Rock. If The Rock is willing to go at WrestleMania, you're going to say yes to it, especially when that's it for Roman. What else does Roman have left to do at this point? There's only one guy on that list that he hasn't put down. And there it is right there, right? It would be that thing lingering over his head, right? Could I? Can I? And now
what a way to crush the head of the table, right? What a way to finally put an end to this streak is to say you're no longer the head of the table. He loses Solo, he loses everybody, and everybody abandons him now because he's no longer the head of the table. I mean, this is that. Then you finally can justify taking the belt away from Roman.
It would be interesting. Although just early prediction, if that happens, I don't think Roman's losing to The Rock. I think he beats him. And I think he solidifies himself as the true head of the table for the foreseeable future. And then he drops the title at a different point. But I don't know, right? But then again, when was the last time Rock headlined a WrestleMania match? Excuse me. I think that was 2013 against Cena for the title, and he lost to Cena for the title. So you're gonna have him lose, 2 WrestleMania main events. I mean, you could, right? But I don't even know if that's where we're headed. But only time will tell, because he didn't say anything else other than he'd maybe like to take a seat at the head of the table. So interesting stuff, but I think that was the big newsworthy moment of the show for sure. Because now, geez, all these new questions come up that I guess we're not going to get answers to right away, and we'll just have to find out what the Tribal Chief thinks about that maybe as early as Friday, and we'll have to go from there, see what he thinks about what The Rock said, and only time will tell where that goes, but. Physique-wise, still looks great. Still looks amazing. Looked a little if we're talking about wrestling stuff, looked a little slow, but the guy is what 50, 53, 52, 53 years old at this point. So he's not going to be as crisp as he used to be, but I think he could still get a good match out of The Rock at this point. I think he could. I think he cares enough. I think he cares enough to put himself in wrestling shape by that time. Right? We got 2 months, 3 months to WrestleMania. I think he could get himself in good in-ring shape in order to be able to fly around and have a good match. But I guess only time will tell. It'll be interesting if we do see him on the Rumble.
Another note, Jinder called out there was only 50 world champions, and I was like, how wild is it that Jinder's like on that list?
That's what I was saying. That's what I was saying. Like,
that's
what I was saying. That I was like thinking about to myself, like, is there any like stupid champions that they could bring out and say, this is the guy that we were talking about? And I was like, Jinder Mahal, like the worst WWE champion of all time. And he was that bad. He was. It was not right to put him in that position. He was put in that position solely to boost I don't care. Solely to boost the India, audience and stuff like that. Man, his run was crap, dude. It was not good. It was nothing memorial. There's nothing, that like was eye popping about other than just the shock factor when it happened. That was it. Other than that, I couldn't name you a defense that made sense to me. They sacrificed AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura to Jinder Mahal for that run, and then to do what with it? To then have him lose to Brock Lesnar, or what did he lose to? He lost to Daniel Bryan, and Daniel Bryan won the WWE title from him. Well, I think that's what happened.
He also beat Randy Orton.
He did. Yeah, they sacrificed Randy, Shinsuke, and AJ Styles to Jinder Mahal for that stupid run just to get the India crowd like, we have a champion.
So it's because they're going to go to Saudi Arabia for the first time. So that's
no. It was India. They were doing a lot of business in India, and they thought, well, let's put the championship on the guy from India. And what was actually really funny about that run, I don't want to get too much of it, but they went and did that India event right over there, and they had him go up against Triple H in a match. And who won that match? Did the WWE champion win that match, or did 50-year-old Triple H win that match? 50-year-old Triple H won that match. So it was just a weird.
It's a live show, man. It doesn't count.
It was just a weird thing, and it was not. If you look at the list, a lot of people put on who is the worst WWE champion of all time, or what was the worst championship run, or anything. It's Jinder Mahal. Kudos to the guy for making the best out of a situation, but he was just not one of the better WWE champions. But he can always call himself a WWE champion, right? So. And he came back, and he came back tonight, even though he's been back for like 3 weeks. But
all that matters.
even though he's been back for like 3 weeks in the backstage with his little tag team group, but all to set up the American hero, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, to come out and do his thing. And what a segment it was, and we'll see where things go from there. But we also had a Monday Night Raw show. Other than that, so let's talk about that a little bit, right? So we started off this show with of course, that Michael Cole and Wade Barrett in the ring announcing everything that was going to happen tonight, which I thought was kind of interesting. Different way to start the show versus them just being at the booth. They were actually in the ring to announce everything. And then you start with the first match of the night, Becky Lynch versus Nia Jax. And you got, WWE is always so great at their video packages before big matches, and the video package was very nice, setting up the reasoning for this 5 years in the making. The punch heard around the world that took Becky out, that then skyrocketed her to superstardom, while Nia Jax went into irrelevancy until she came back. And then we get to the match itself. The match was about 11 minutes, and there was a lot of good spots in this match. I enjoyed it. The Samoan drop from the top rope was a pretty good move. I thought that was it right there. And then Becky kicks out. That was a good false finish there. but we started once again. Even if this happened, it was a trend throughout most of the night. Even when they do the picture-in-picture commercial break thing, it's still so hard to like pay attention to what's going on the little screen when you have this big screen of advertisements that are so loud, trying to grab your attention. Right? It's just so hard to kind of keep in what's going on the side over here. So, but you know, you're gonna.
I would say, but it was a step in the right direction.
I guess in the grand scheme of things, I prefer those picture-in-picture ones over just straight up just cutting away from the match and then coming back in and not knowing what the hell happened throughout those last 3 minutes of that match. But this was an 11-minute match with about 3 to 4 minutes of it with commercial box over here. But I mean, it was a good match. It was good. I thought both ladies went toe to toe with each other very well. Nia Jax wins clean with the combination of the uppercut and the annihilator, as she calls it, which I just figured out today, and I don't know if y'all did already. Maybe I'm just slow.
Nia,
but it's a fucking pun. The Annihilator.
Out?
No, I didn't. I told you, maybe it's just because I'm slow. I don't know, but I just figured out. Oh, it's a pun, like Annihilator. Oh, jeez.
It's the Annihilator.
Because I was trying to figure.
That's why it's so good.
Because I was trying to figure it out, and I was like, why the hell she call it that? Like, we went from the bonsai drop to that. I was like, it's kind of a cheesy name. And then I was like, wait a minute. Ah, hell, it's a damn pun. Okay, I get it. Now it makes sense. But either way, she wins with that. Really clean, 100% clean win for Nia Jax. The uppercut, I believe, did bust open Becky, and I don't know if that was on purpose, like if they meant to do that just for once again have that bloody Becky scene, or if that was by accident. Either way, she got busted open on that uppercut. But yeah, Nia Jax wins clean, and I guess we'll see, Nia Jax is going to look strong going into the Royal Rumble, and we'll see, where she goes from there on that one. But this was a good match, a good opener. And for Becky, I don't know where she goes from here. I don't think it hurts. I think Nia Jax probably needed to win this more than Becky Lynch did. Becky Lynch has already established herself as a superstar no matter really what happens in her career at this point. But I think for Nia Jax and the run that she's on right now, I think she really, really needed this. And I think it works better for Nia to win this match than it would have been for Becky to just go and put this to bed. So at least it gives Becky something to strive for going forward. And for Nia, it still makes her look extremely, extremely strong into whatever they're going to be pushing her into pretty soon. But what you got on this, since I'm not good at puns or anything, I don't know, bring me a pun, Mr. Zero something. Get me out of that mess.
Check it out, man. I mean, to start this match, I had Becky Lynch winning it. I didn't
check it out, man. That's a new one.
Check it out, man. To start this match, I had Becky Lynch winning this match, and I was kind of surprised. I mean, she was winning 90% of the match. To start, from start to finish, 90% of the match she was in control of, and she was winning. And it just kind of surprised me. Nia hits maybe 3 or 4 moves, and it's 1, 2, 3 for you want to hear a pun? It's Nia Jax hits the Annihilator, and for Becky Lynch, it's see you later. But
there it is. Thank you.
But yeah, it was a good match. I liked it.
It was a good paper. It was a good PLE style match with no title at stake or anything, which I thought is good. I like that kind of thing. Not everything needs to have a title on the line to make it matter, and this was one of those matches. And I wouldn't mind seeing this match again if they wanted to do it. But
yeah.
But if this is it, then that was fine too, and we'll see where it goes. But what you got, Cheese?
Also,
sorry.
Also, I was gonna add that you noted that you thought it was the uppercut that caused Becky to bleed. I believe she was bleeding before when she was going to the top rope. I think it was the Samoan drop from the top rope that caused her to bleed.
Okay.
Yeah, that impact was very blunt. By the way,
it was. That's why I thought the match was over. I was like, damn, that looked brutal. Okay, now go ahead, Cheese. What you got?
All right, guys. I'm gonna educate you guys because you guys are both misinformed, and you're both, obviously Johnny T doesn't know that the Annihilator was a pun and a signature move,
It took me a minute.
and yeah, and Mr. Zero over here thinks that Becky Lynch was winning 90% of that match. You guys couldn't be further from the truth right now. Look, they made Becky Lynch look incredibly weak in this match. I didn't think she was winning the match most of the time. Some of the biggest spots, like you said, like that Samoan drop, that was Nia hitting those spots. And let's get it all out of the way too. That was fake blood. That was not real blood. That didn't look real to me. I don't know if you guys thought it was fake real blood. I thought it was simply to
Well,
emphasize how dangerous Nia is because this is what they did to her originally.
well, that's why I was saying
And
before you continue. That's why I was saying that I wasn't 100% sure if it was on purpose. What I mean by that is they meant to
yeah,
whatever it was, whether it was purposely bust her open or her, like pill it or whatever, or if it was just accidental. Either way, I think it played into that story, right? That they've been talking about with Nia busting her open the first time. But yeah, to continue, yeah.
yeah, so then the fake blood, they make Becky bleed because that's what Nia does. She's dangerous, and that's the what they're trying to get across. They're really building up Nia. I didn't see this coming. They made Becky look weak. Did you guys realize she tried to get a win by countout? She tried to jump into the ring and get a win by countout. It was so weird because it was just like a chicken shit heel thing to do. And Becky did it, and Nia had to run in at like the 8 and 9 count to get into the match. I thought that was kind of a weird like angle too. It was just like, hey Becky, you don't want this fight? What's going on? I thought you wanted to fight. I thought you were all about this fight. Becky looks like a little flea trying to beat up a grizzly bear. That's what she looks like out there. She does not look like a somebody that can actually beat Nia Jax, which I think is what WWE is trying to do, is to legitimize Nia Jax, which they have now because she beat Becky clean. I was like, holy shit, like, she beat her clean. Like that, I guess I thought originally early on, I was with Zero on this, was all like, oh, Becky's gonna win this match. They were just building up Nia so they could serve her up to Becky. But no, we're gonna get Nia going forward. She beat Becky clean, and now Becky, like you to your point, what the hell do you do with Becky now, right? Because she has like no steam. So not that she needs it. She's Becky Lynch, right? She'll be fine with whoever she works with. But Becky moves down, and Nia moves up. So Nia moves further into that space where she might be able to challenge for a title, and Becky is kind of a little bit below that. In the grand scheme of things. Now they could probably have a grudge match and run it back. I'm assuming with the blood factor and everything else, we could kind of see where they might have a feud going a little bit further.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought Becky looked incredibly weak this match, and I thought that I thought Nia beat her pretty handily. I thought that she smacked the shit out of her with the with a punch to the face. That actually looked really clean too. It looked really good. I will say this now: is it time for us to start saying that Nia Jax is a safe wrestler? Because everything I see in the ring that she's doing now, I feel like she's been really unfortunate. Everybody can make mistakes, but I think that like what she's doing now, whenever I see her wrestling one on one, I don't see her purposefully trying to hurt her
Sure.
opponents, nor do I see her accidentally doing it either. So I think that she's a
Yeah.
big girl and that she's strong, so it can kind of just happen. I feel like she's just been like unfortunate when it comes to like
Sure.
some of the spots for her. But can we call her safe going forward now? Is it time for us on the SPP to finally dub Nia as a safe wrestler?
I don't necessarily want to say she's 100%, but I don't think she's purposely trying to hurt anybody. I don't think she's purposely trying like to injure somebody, and I think she has improved a lot when it comes to spots and things of that nature. Because she was really, I mean, it's evident by that video package. Just starting from that point on, she was really stiff with a lot of things she used to do, and she legitimately hurt people. Now it's not necessarily the case anymore. I mean, as far as I know, she's not hasn't hurt anybody. It just looks good. It looks like it should, and that's what you're trying to portray without actually hurting somebody. And I think she's done a lot. I will give her props. She's done a lot better job at this. She still if you can keep on this trend, then yeah, you're gonna flip my script on that whole thing, and I'll be able to call her a really really safe wrestler. I'll call her a very very improved performer at this point. I think she's showing that she can improve and she can be better, and it's evident by the fact that the company is behind her now. They're 100% behind her. They're pushing her.
Yeah.
And we'll see
swing, right?
we'll see where her push goes. I don't know. It'll be interesting. And I think it works out because even if her push doesn't lead to a title win, it's still okay. But what it does do is it gives you another question mark when it comes to a couple of weeks at the Royal Rumble when it's like, who can win it, right? Well, now Nia Jax has all of a sudden made herself, not that she hasn't been in the past, but now more so than ever, has made herself a favorite to win the Royal Rumble match, right? Because you beat the shit out of Becky Lynch. Who can say that? And so if you can do that to Becky Lynch, you can do that to 29 other women, right? And so it pretty much sets her up in a driver's seat as far as being one of the top people going into that Rumble match, which is perfect. I think that's good. I think it works out. A good hot opener. The crowd was behind this match too, which was good. And we'll see where it goes. Nia Jax has been very, very improved since she came back, and we'll see where they decide to go with her. There are a lot of options they can do there. It makes that division stronger on Raw too, with her winning as well. But we'll see where it goes, and we'll see where it goes with Becky. It gives Becky I think a way to reset herself a bit and play an underdog. She's been the man for so long. She's been at the top of the food chain. Now she's going to drop down and try to figure out how to be an underdog again and come back from the bottom to make it back to the top. But what you got, Mr. Zero, with your busted up ass mic?
Oh, the mute was on. There we go. You wanted to ask if Nia Jax is safe. I'll call her walking through a dark alley safe. That's what I think of Nia Jax. She's walking through a back alley safe.
Walking through a back alley safe. Oh,
she's too big, she's too slow, she's too stiff.
Right? Even if she is dangerous, that's good that they're pushing this angle. So
yeah, for sure.
What a swing for her, because she wasn't even in WWE that long. Like, she hasn't been back to WWE that long ago.
I mean, she came back.
Yeah.
She came back a year ago for that one-off Rumble appearance. And then was off TV for, I think, another 6 months before she actually came back to the roster. About late last summer, I think that's when she came back. And ever since then, they've been building her up very strong. So, okay. Yeah. We'll see where it goes from here. They got to
continue to do this and make her legitimate. Otherwise, we're going to have the same champions on the women's side forever.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying that I'm okay with this, because it gives Becky a chance to reset a little bit, because she's been on the top, right? What else has she had to do when she's always just on the top? Now she's not. So she has to have that reflection time to be like, wow, I'm not on the top anymore. I'm not on the top of my game. I'm not there. So how do I get from here back to here? Will she
plug it in? You just got to plug it in.
Will she try to do it at the Royal Rumble? She'll try. She probably won't win, which will then kind of, well, how do I get back to that spot? I think eventually we're still headed towards Becky and Rhea at WrestleMania, I think. But this sets up as just not Becky already being there and being like, well, I'm just going to coast all the way to WrestleMania. Now she's got to prove, well, why do you deserve to be at WrestleMania now? So I think it works out. I think it's great. Say again?
I said that sounds like diarrhea to me.
Okay.
I don't want to see Becky versus Rhea Ripley.
I do. I think that's the matchup that you need. I mean, but we'll get to that here in a bit. But so we get to the first in-ring segment, which is Cody's Happy New Year fireworks promo. You get the usual fireworks display from Cody Rhodes. You get the usual Cody Rhodes promo stuff, talking about what happened last week between him and Shinsuke Nakamura. You get a recap of the Shinsuke Nakamura, Nightmare Before Christmas promo, which is still like one of the craziest things I've heard all year long, with calling Dusty Rhodes an inbred, and they definitely pinpointed on that again this week. So he challenges, all that to be said, that he challenges Shinsuke Nakamura to come out and fight tonight. Of course, Shinsuke Nakamura is not going to do that. He interrupts on the screen for another one of his little promos that they have, one of these pre-setup promos that they have with him, which are still pretty good. I mean, that's about as good as you're going to get with Shinsuke Nakamura on those promos. Basically feeding in again to just that he's going to end Cody's story for him. All this to set up that we're going to do this once again next week on Monday Night Raw. So next week it will be Shinsuke Nakamura versus Cody Rhodes, round 2. Pretty basic stuff here. Nothing too crazy. Just a way to set up a match for next week, really. And God, like, looking at this now, like after this show, after everything else happened, I don't know what Cody's trajectory is. It's insane to say that, but I mean, he's gonna get Nakamura next week, and then I what do you do from there? Royal Rumble time's coming. Do you still have him win the Rumble? I don't know, but after next week, I need a little bit more flair from Cody on something leading up to the Rumble to make me believe again that he is the guy that's going to WrestleMania and not somebody else. So, but yeah, pretty standard promo stuff. What are you doing there, Mr. Zero? What you got there? What are you flashing in my face? What are you flashing in all of our faces?
WrestleMania, baby! WrestleMania!
What you got on this segment? Did you like
Zero Mania? Zero Mania is running wild.
Zero Mania. Jeez. I'm gonna put that on a T-shirt.
Anyway, all this is trademarked, so don't try to make sales and stuff like that without coming to me, because you will be sued. Those of you watching online. Anyway, let's get back to it.
Don't challenge people. If you haven't trademarked that, they might just do it to fuck with you. I'm just saying. I might just go do it, and you have to pay me. Oh boy, yeah. What you got?
Let me tell you something. It is trademarked. Anyway, yeah, this was a great little segment. I enjoyed the anime factor of it,
of course,
or the comic book factor of it. That was really cool. Once again, they did mention Dusty Rhodes being an inbred. Not that he is. I'm just saying Shinsuke pointed it out, or they replayed it again, which was, can't believe they did that again. The WWE's got some cojones. But yeah, I mean, this segment was just to set up another great match for next week. And WWE lately has been doing a really good job of setting up matches for next week to have their viewers tune in. Also, tune in weekly to the SPP, and you will get great content like you are right now. So, peace.
If that tells you anything about what he probably really thought about that Cody Rhodes promo, that's all it right there. We will self-promote ourselves, though. Make sure you like, subscribe, leave your comments on anything that you see on this show. Leave your comments on who you think is the better of Mr. Zero's 3 faces. Make sure you let us know.
Can you do that too? Can I do that too? No, I can't do that. Why can't I do that shit?
Hey, he got little heart effects and whatnot. But did you? So would you give this segment a heart effect, Mr. Tribal Cheese? Tribal Cheese.
I would give it like a half a heart effect.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I don't even care. Honestly, I don't care about this segment at all. I don't care about Cody versus Shinsuke. I'm heart affected right now because I don't know what the hell is about to happen with Cody. I feel like Cody's run with Shinsuke is going to end next week because they need to start pivoting really quickly. Like, I don't know if that it's going to extend beyond next week. They already did one match. They're going to do this other one. I don't really know where it goes beyond there. Like, the first match was okay. Wasn't the best.
Also, there was no result. Or was DQ,
yeah, there was no
whatever.
result.
Yeah.
It was a DQ. I mean, there could be 3 matches, but who knows? Who cares? I think that's another thing right now is who cares right now, because I think we're all kind of wondering, like, what the hell is about to happen with Cody going to WrestleMania now because again, The Rock just came in and completely changed the landscape of like what is possible for WrestleMania. So I mean, what are they gonna do? Is bring back Goldust, and then it's gonna be Goldust versus his brother at WrestleMania. I mean, I don't know what they're gonna do at this point to save Cody. And what really sucks is that he's not gonna finish his story. That's what he said. That's what he said he's wanted to do is finish the story. That doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how much.
It doesn't matter if you want to finish the story. That's the segment right there.
If you have The Rock, you're exactly right, though. It doesn't matter if The Rock wants in. If that's the bigger draw, WWE is going in with The Rock, and I don't blame them for doing that because it's a smart thing. The problem is not everybody can have a piece of the tribal cheese or the tribal cheese.
Well, I guess so, right?
Yeah, I mean,
it goes both ways.
They don't want to. They don't want none of the tribal cheese either. But you know, they can't. Everybody wants a piece of Roman Reigns. This is why I still believe he's the biggest draw in wrestling because everybody wants a piece of Roman Reigns. They want a piece of that title. In order for Cody to finish that story, he's got to beat Roman because Roman beat him already.
Yeah.
I really thought Cody was going to be the one to carry this promotion beyond Roman as the legitimate champion. But I worry now where his trajectory is headed. I mean, he's going to be one of the top dogs for sure. But right now, with the way they're using him, he's kind of in filler stages and he's not really being built up, whereas other guys kind of are being built up. So, yeah, I mean, like I said, I don't really care about this promo. I kind of dislike these promos too, like where Cody gets all out, uses up everybody's pyro, and then he's like, "I'll see you next week." Like, I feel like he's done this like 3 times in a row lately.
Yeah.
He just comes out, does his entrance, and then he says a few things. They play Shinsuke's vignette, and then they just next week. All right, guys. So
this is what WWE did with Cody's story. Took out the last page.
They just put a big old Brahma bull on the screen and said, "There it is now. That's what we're doing now." Yeah, that's the only thing that I just don't know. And it's crazy because this guy, as they were making it clear as he was coming out, I mean, he was voted on by WWE, by ESPN as the superstar, the wrestler of the year, and because he did have a really, really good year. But man, like you go from that to I don't even know what your trajectory is going to be now for 2024. I don't know, man. Like I love Cody, and I think everybody does, and the crowd still loves Cody, and everybody wants to see Cody finish that story. But
what do you want to see more?
When is that going to happen now? And is it going to? And I don't know. If you're asking me right now, what would I rather see? Man, it's really, really tough. But I'm always for those once in a lifetime kind of things. If you can make once in a lifetime kind of things happen, you have to go with them, right? I mean, when are you going to get The Rock versus Roman Reigns again? Ever? It wasn't even possible, right? For the last couple of years. And now it is, so yeah, sure, give it to me. But man, it sucks that it comes at the cost of Cody Rhodes. But I mean, it's just the way it is. I don't know, but we'll see what happens with Cody next week when he goes up against Shinsuke Nakamura in the rematch, and we'll see if we get a different kind of a finish. As by next week will be about 3 weeks to the Royal Rumble, so we're getting closer and closer to the Royal Rumble as we go along here. But we get into the second.
What The Rock is cooking?
But we get into the second match of the night here, and it was interesting pairing. It going off of the last time we saw it on the Christmas or the week before Christmas show, where we saw Kofi Claus trying to give out gifts to everybody and get attacked by Imperium and saved by Jey Uso. That led to the one-on-one match between Jey and Ludwig Kaiser. So we come back now, fast forward 2 weeks ahead, and now we got a tag team match with Kofi and Jey versus Imperium. And we did get the notice before this match started that CM Punk will be back on Monday Night Raw next week. So that'll be his first appearance of 2024, as he's been on the live circuit for the past week. beating Dominic Mysterio twice. If you want to know what our reaction was to his return match, we'll go to the video that we have on our channel to find out what our thoughts were on his return match. But going back to this match with Kofi and Jay, I'm wondering where's Xavier Woods. Did anybody say anything about him being hurt or anything like that?
No.
I haven't seen
wrote the
Xavier
same thing
Woods
down.
in like a couple of weeks, and I'm just kind of wondering where the hell is he? What happened to him? Did he get? He must have gotten hurt or something, because otherwise I don't know why he wouldn't be with Kofi right now. Kofi got worked throughout most of this match. This match went for about 8 minutes with the commercial break in between. And even during the commercial break, he was getting worked. And then when the only big move he got in was the match ender. He hit that drop kick with Giovanni Vinci coming off the top rope. And I guess he hit his head coming down, and the referee stopped the match and called it as Jay got tagged in. But that was it. The bell rings, and the match is over.
Easy night for Jay.
Jay looked pissed.
He was pissed.
He looked pissed. He got nothing in that match. He did nothing. And then when he was about to get going, he was told, it's over. No, sorry, we're not doing this. Yeah, so the referee calls the match. The match is over, and that's it. Jey Uso's just standing there looking really pissed off as he takes his gear off in the middle of the ring. And the winners are announced as Jay and Kofi. What a unfortunate ending to this match, but I guess we'll just omit it because, I mean, it was a stoppage that sucked. And I hope Giovanni Vinci is okay. I hope he's not seriously hurt. He must have been really, really concussed if they felt they needed to stop the match completely. If they felt they couldn't even have Kaiser finish the match, like they just needed to stop the match and get him out of there. I thought that was kind of interesting to do that. So I don't know if y'all have any thoughts on this match. I mean, it's kind of one of those. It just sucks, and there's not really much you can say about it other than Jay looked pissed. They didn't get to do anything tonight, other than his entrance.
So, I'll start this off. First of all, Giovanni didn't hit his head. I believe it was Kofi Kingston's drop kick that got him right in the face. Because you could see on the replay, Kaiser and Jey Uso both going like, and yeah, it was just bad. And I mean, first of all, we need to touch on an important issue. Let me tell you something. Kofi Kingston comes out in basketball shorts.
Oh, dude, I was gonna say something.
Where's his tights at? I mean, it looked like he lost his tights and then asked somebody backstage, like, "Hey man, can I borrow some shorts?" Like, what the hell? And you know, comes out in shorts. It's like, some shorts? You know, Johnny T, you're asking where's Xavier Woods. I'm asking where the hell is his wrestling gear at?
It was different.
Hey, come out in basketball shorts. Comes out in basketball shorts. Puts on a shitty match. Only hits one move, and it stops the match. Good job. I mean, I thought it was a shoot. I thought it was a shoot because I thought, all right, here it is. Jey Uso's gonna.
Well, you thought it was a work. You thought it was a work.
I thought it was a work. There you go. My bad. I thought it was a work. I thought Jey Uso was gonna super kick him. You know, and I mean, another note I had for this match was I couldn't even call Jey Uso mid-card Jey Uso, even though this match was in the mid-card. I called him, you know, sideline Jey Uso, because that's all he did. You know, cheerleader Jey Uso, because that's all he was. He was on the sidelines watching, and, you know, might as well have been a handicap match. And that, sorry, Jey Uso.
Maybe next week.
Things get better.
Maybe next week.
Hope things get better for you, man.
He freaking waited like 2 weeks just to sit on the outside of the apron the whole time. Damn,
just stand there. He looked pissed. I say he looked mad.
So you said you wondered what happened to Xavier Woods, but you wondered what happened to his shorts. I wonder what happened to CM Punk. were we not supposed to see CM Punk for like a month now? As how long has he been off of TV? He's been on every other thing. Where is CM Punk? You know, I'm asking a lot of weird questions, not just limited to shorts, because I did say the same thing. I was like, what the hell are these shorts? Where's his New Day gear? And that's why I was wondering. I was like, is New Day not a thing no more? Are they canceled right now? Because he ain't wearing his. I think he came out to the New Day music.
Yeah, he did.
But he didn't have any of his New Day gear, and then there's no Xavier Woods. So I'm like, damn. And I don't know. It was super weird to me. But this whole part was just weird because it was like CM Punk's also missing. He'll be back next week. Probably not gonna fucking wrestle again next week. Like, what the hell's going on right now? What's up with all this stuff? And then on top of that, we get the fucking stupid ass injury. And I don't know, Zero, you were a little blind tonight. You might need to take the sunglasses off, sir, because he did get hit in the head, but right after that, he hit his head on the damn.
No, yes,
mat.
I saw that. Yes,
It was like a nasty ass whiplash that he had right there, and I mean, one or the other, right, gave him a concussion. I saw the doctor in there, and I was like, who the hell is that guy in the bottom? And I mean, it was just a really bizarre finish. I thought this guy was like seriously hurt. Like, I was like, oh man, like what happened? You know, like such a weird way to stop the match, because I think I did wonder, like, why the hell couldn't was it Kaiser come in? Why couldn't he come in and
That's what I was
spell
saying.
right and finish the match off? Maybe it becomes a handicap match. I don't know. But just finish the match off, and you know that's that, right? You save the best of it, but instead it was just some kind of a weird stop. And I think probably that's why Jay was a little upset. Was like, hey, like what the hell? I was funny because he was like eyeballing Vinci as he was walking out, because Vinci was walking out. He was fine. He was, you know, on his own 2 feet walking out, and he was just like eyeballing him, like what the hell, you know? So.
Because he didn't get to
weird.
do anything.
Yeah, he didn't get to do shit. He didn't do nothing. So I was like, damn, he got paid for nothing. So, but he was mad because, you know, he wanted to go in there and have some fun. Kofi took all the fun. Kofi was making faces as, you know, as he was like, oh, I'm in trouble now because I hurt him. So, yeah, it was just a really bizarre part. I don't know. I don't really care. I don't feel like nothing's going to come of these matches at all. This is going to put fucking Imperium really far behind now, because the Imperium hasn't been good for a while, and now this injury is going to take them. They were already breaking up. This injury is going to take them even further off the map. Jey Uso needs to not be in these matches, but you know it is what it is. He's in these matches because he's not even mid-card Jey Uso no more. He's sidelined Jey Uso now. He's going to be no-show Jey Uso next week. I mean, he's going to be backstage Jey Uso. Who knows what the hell is going to happen, right? So. Where do we go from here? Hopefully anywhere else. that would be a good start for sure. Let's just scrap this whole angle right now. Take Kofi off TV. He got somebody hurt. Congratulations.
And we'll just say here at the Springboard Plancha Podcast, we wish Giovanni Vinci a fast and speedy recovery. Hopefully he is healthy sooner than later. Hopefully this is not a major concussion type of injury. And so, but yeah, what a weird way to end that match by not seeing Jey Uso do anything. So that was the end of Jey Uso's night. We didn't see him the rest of the show. So, you know.
And can we find Kofi's tights?
I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's just you know, a new year, new me kind of thing.
I think they got lost on the flight somewhere, man. They got lost on the road.
They got stuck with Xavier Rhodes wherever he is.
Xavier Rhodes.
They got stuck with him. I don't know. Maybe he kept them. I don't know. I'll be interested. I'm going to look into see what the hell's going on with him because I haven't seen him. What the hell happened to him? Just disappeared.
He was on not too long ago. Remember, he was in that.
But now when I think about it, like for the last couple of weeks, he just hasn't been on screen anymore. It's been just Kofi.
Well, the New Days,
and so
New Day is the old day. They need to change their name.
Or the New Day is just a day, I guess. I don't know. So we get into that was the end of hour 1. We get into hour 2 where we open up with the Miz TV segment with the Judgment Day. Well, who comes out to represent the Judgment Day other than the newest member of the Judgment Day, R-Truth?
The best member.
Guy comes out to represent Judgment Day. Geez, we get a little Jimmy mention about whether or not
Little Jimmy.
if we're if we seeing people again. People forget, or for those that may have forgotten, the Miz and R-Truth were a tag team for a little while during that 2011 year, during that 2011 year. As the Awesome Truth. And so that was kind of cool to see them back together in a ring for the first time in a while, having a little bit of a promo with each other. When we get interrupted by two members of the Judgment Day, Dirty Dom and JD McDonough. And we are in San Diego, California, which is the hometown of Dominic Mysterio, and the home crowd did not like Dom. Still would boo the shit out of him every time he would talk. He's still one of the hottest heat magnets in the business right now. And do you want to talk about most improved kind of guys in this business right now? It's Dominic Mysterio. Just from what he's able to, even when he doesn't say anything, he's still pretty hot. and just in his in-ring work is gotten better. But this all leads to the conversation as to who is in Judgment Day and who is not, as R-Truth continues to tell JD McDonough, you're not even in this group anymore. You're not even here. You lost the match. He ain't even in Judgment Day. Which then we get to my favorite part of this segment, which is setting up a tag team match right now as they all want to settle their differences. And R-Truth saying, so am I on JD's team? Or am I on Dom's team? Am I with Dom? Because I'm a part of the Judgment Day. It's like, no, you goon. We're the Awesome Truth.
I don't want to be with JD.
I don't want to be with JD. And then that leads, we go to a commercial break, and by the time we come back, we get the third match of the night, which is the return of the Awesome Truth versus JD McDonough and Dirty Dom. And what was just, a funny little fun tag match, as these matches with R-Truth have become. My favorite part of the tag match itself was the part where R-Truth switches sides and goes over to the Judgment Day side and actually gets a blind tag from JD when he doesn't even know it. Which then sets up the throw of JD into the skull crushing finale for the win. Awesome Truth wins. R-Truth is definitely the best part of Judgment Day as of right now, and I hope this continues on for however long they want to do it. It's fun. It's good stuff. It always is. Very, very good stuff. The Miz is obviously solidified himself as a babyface at this point, and I think they're going to continue going in that route. But give me anything with R-Truth, and I'm going to laugh my ass off probably at least once or twice during the segment. So, good stuff. What you got on this, Zero?
Let me tell you something. What's up? Because that match was awesome. Clip it and, put it as the beginning of the video. But anyway, yeah, man, this match was awesome. You know what I mean? R-Truth going to the other side, and him and Dom look at each other like, what are you doing? No, what are you doing? I'm on the Judgment Day. And then
he doesn't even go here.
I thought we were going to see a heel turn for a second when, JD's like, you want to be a part of Judgment Day? Now's your chance. Prove it. And he's like, I'm sorry, Miz. I'm sorry. And of course, he hits JD. And, guys, it's only a matter of time. JD's days are limited before Mr. What's Up R-Truth is the new leader. Of the Judgment. He's gonna solidify himself as the new leader of Judgment Day. Damian Priest can't even cash in his Money in the Bank.
Yeah,
it's a joke.
And we'll get into that here pretty soon.
It's gonna happen, and it's gonna be because of R-Truth. Everything,
everything revolves around R-Truth. The truth will set you free.
The truth will set you free.
God, the recreation of one of the most best and saddest emotional moments in WWE history with Shawn Michaels and Ric Flair was recreated tonight with R-Truth, The Miz, and JD McDonough. The Miz telling R-Truth telling The Miz he loved him before he threw that punch. and then throwing them back to the Miz, saying, "You ain't a part of you ain't even part of the Judgment Day," and that was the whole purpose of it. I was like, "Oh my god, that's hilarious." What you got, Cheese? What you got on this epic segment, epic match?
Oh man, I feel like R-Truth is so confused, and it's so beautiful to watch.
It's great. It's awesome.
It's just beautiful to watch, man. Like nobody does confusion like him, right? Like he's just constantly like everything, right? Like it's like the little kid walking, past you, and you're like, hey, you dropped your shoes untied, and he's like, what? Like anything will work on R-Truth. It's just the greatest thing, dude. It's a really great, like, playful innocence. I just love everything he touches. I'm so glad that they continue to keep him in this storyline.
Mm-hmm.
He's actually, if you believe it or not, he's actually building JD up. Like, because of R-Truth, I'm getting to know who JD is, and it's like working for JD. It's working in his favor. There is something that I wanted to say a little bit about Dom. I think this is border like there's like heels and then there's Dom, right? Like the heat that Dom takes, I almost want to say it's not good for him at this point because he cannot even deliver a promo. He's so hated. It's just he can't even say what he wants to say. Like he can't even make the crowd mad. He can't say nothing. He was trying to set up the match. And he couldn't because they were just, I mean, and this is every crowd. Every time Dom picks up the mic, he is booed to the moon, it feels like. I mean, he doesn't get a chance to say shit anymore, dude. Like, I mean, he's having a hard time cutting promos, especially like in front of a live audience. And I don't know that that's really good for his career. His wrestling skills, amazing. I love the fact that he is a heel because I think he works really well there. But this level of heat is not good for Dom. I just don't think it is. I don't think it's good for his career. I mean, the guy can't say a word, and that's a little scary because even at their heights, like most of the heels in the business, people sat and listened. They let them deliver their promos. And the Miz is, for whatever he's been hated his entire career, he was never booed to the point where he had to put the mic down because he just couldn't talk. But JD's talking on the mic and everybody listens. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if it's very good for his career, but let's take it back to the fun parts, which is R-Truth, right? I mean, did anybody enjoy all those winks he was giving?
Yeah.
He was handing out winks left and right, bro. Oh, my God. I was like, please, man, just let him stay here. Let him stay in the Judgment Day. Let him just be a part of the Judgment Day. Just let him be a part of the Judgment Day. It's already... The Judgment Day is so far removed from what it was intended to be that, like, just screw it at this point. It's just entertainment at this point, right? You got a bunch of goofy ass dudes in Judgment Day. Just let R-Truth be in it, right? When you added JD McDonough, like, anything could go. So let R-Truth be in it. I think he has a lot to offer. He does administrative work. You know what I mean? He does administrative work. He does all the other different types of work that he does. He has a lot of jobs inside the Judgment Day. So let him continue doing his job. His PR work is the best because I think people might actually start liking Judgment Day because, like he said, no one likes them. He came out on Miz TV and said no one likes them. So my job is to help them get liked, and he's 100% right. So I'm not gonna lie. I like a little bit more when Damian Priest starts laughing a little bit when like. Dom's laughing and I'm just like I'm cracking up because I start liking the characters more often because they're human beings like that we can relate to. So R-Truth is just good for the soul, man. Keep him going.
Yeah, for real. I'm just happy that they have found a place for him because I wasn't sure what they were going to do with him when he came back. I don't know if he was just going to be like a backstage comedy guy, but the fact that they actually have found him a program that works, that's just it's the funny comedy part of the show, and every show needs that, and that's great. It works. Just keep at it with him. Go with this as long as you want to go with it. Like this guy's a treasure, and he's not going to be able to do it forever. So, this is what we're getting, and it works for me.
I can never like guess what R-Truth is going to say. Like, I
No,
can't
yeah,
do
for
that. And
real.
that's what I love about it is, like, I never know what he's going to say.
This guy's making hearts over here.
He's so confused that he doesn't even know what he's going to say half the time, I'm guessing.
That's the same way our Mr. Zero is.
Right?
As he's over there
This is
making,
hard.
as he's over there making hearts.
But
Valentine's Day is around the corner, so
And
that's
so
why
we
he's
get,
doing it.
I see. Yeah, we are in 2024. Happy New Year to everybody. Hope it was a good one for all of y'all. So we get into after that, we get into match 4 of the night, which is the first title match of the night. Rhea Ripley versus Ivy Nile for the Women's World Championship. This match went about 14 minutes with one commercial break, another picture-in-picture commercial break in between, which wasn't too bad. When this match started, we got a lot of "Let's Go Mommy" chants at the beginning. You know, Rhea Ripley is the top of the food chain here, and she's very very hard to dislike from the crowd. The crowd loves Mommy, so you got to do something as the other person on the other side of the ring to get the crowd on your side and not just on hers. And it didn't start off very well, as the first suplex that Ivy Nile got to do was a very, very botchy one. It looked like it was just it was supposed to be a T-bone, and she just kind of dropped her, and that's where we went from there, and we went straight to commercial break. But as we come back from commercial break, I feel like by the time we get to the middle of the match, she recovered. She kind of got into her own a little bit, and she recovered very well. And then we got probably one of the if it wasn't the main event, this one was the match of the night. Because it took a while to develop, but when you got there, both ladies looked extremely good. Rhea always looks really, really good. Her moves always look so. Talking about powerful people, right? Her moves just always look very powerful. They look like they hurt. They look like they have major impact. But I gotta say something. I gotta give Ivy Nile her props, and I have to apologize to her for calling her the dollar store Ronda Rousey, because at this point I feel like she wrestles 10 times better than Ronda Rousey ever did in a WWE ring. She is really, really good. She's a little green, she's young, but she showed out. I mean, you had that really slow start that I was already gonna be like, here we go, just another crappy opponent to give Rhea. But by the time this match kind of got to the nitty gritty of it, Ivy Nile was making me believe. I didn't think she was gonna win, obviously, but she had some really really nice looking spots. Had Rhea on her toes a little bit. But then, of course, by the time we get to the end, Rhea's tired of playing around, and we get the headbutt, the knee, and the Riptide combo for the win. Rhea Ripley is still your women's world champion, and we'll see where it goes with Rhea. But Ivy Nile has a place on this roster, and if they continue to work with her, she's got something. One of those other ones that I say they got something as long as they do something with them. But she proved to me she's more than just a tough looking MMA woman. She can do it. She's got the tools. We'll just have to see how it goes with her. But for Rhea, another win, and we'll see who the next opponent's going to be for her as we're getting closer and closer to Royal Rumble time. Cheese, I'm going to let you take this one to start off. I know you're not feeling too well, but give us what you thought about this one, since this was one of the bigger matches on the card. I thought it was the best one.
I think you're back to being Johnny Blind again, because from what I saw, Ivy Nile, she did have a few botches early on, but that's not the reason why she's not. You said she's not as good as Ronda Rousey. Yeah, she's not as good as Ronda Rousey. You're crazy if you think that Ivy Nile. This is the reason why. Ivy Nile, it's not for lack of talent. In ring, maybe wrestling wise. What Ivy Nile lacks is her ability to sell. Ivy Nile cannot sell water to a goldfish. My goodness gracious. Everything out there. She doesn't make you believe anything hurts. She doesn't sell her entrance. She doesn't sell nothing. Everything that you saw that was good out there, that was because Rhea was helping her. Everything you saw that was great, Rhea was helping her. Ivy has little to no personality, little to no flavor. I mean, all the way through the match, she's just kind of like, it doesn't look real. Like she doesn't take hits. Nothing looks real. That's just how it was the whole time. I mean, she's not. I don't agree with you. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I don't think Ivy Nile has it to be on this roster. I think that before you put Ivy Nile out there, she needs to be polished in terms of a personality. Look, let me give you the biggest indicator that Ivy Nile doesn't belong here. Look at the differences between her entrance and Rhea's entrance. And you can see the polish. And Rhea was doing that from day one that she got here. Rhea was already polished like that. Everything Rhea touches has looked good since she's got here. There's no excuse. When you are on the main roster, you have to be polished already. You have to have personality. You have to have character. You need to learn how to sell. Maybe not oversell like Shawn Michaels, but you need to learn how to sell. Sell moves. Make it look real. And everything I saw from her, it just didn't look real. Nothing was snappy. And it was mainly on her just taking the bumps and taking hits. It wasn't her delivering them, because she can deliver some pretty decent wrestling moves. But that all depends on Rhea selling those moves. So everything that you saw that was good from Ivy was because Rhea was selling it really well. So you can't just be good in like terms of technical skills to be a wrestler anymore. You have to have it all. You have to have personality. You have to have charisma. You have to have the entrance. You have to have the music. You have to have everything. And you can't knock Ronda Rousey. Ronda Rousey gave us some spectacular matches for what she's been here for. I mean, we're talking some great matches. So saying that Ivy Nile's shown you more than what Ronda Rousey has, I think is a little blasphemous to say, because like Ronda's been doing it for a while and she was really good at it. She was a superior athlete. And she could do everything Ivy Nile does, and she also can sell. She can sell moves. She knows herself. She knows the crowd. She knows her entrance. She's got charisma. I mean, the difference is like you can actually see Ronda coming back here, and she's at the top of the food chain all over again. She's there challenging for titles all over again, because that's just what she's solidified herself as now. So I completely don't agree. I do agree with what Michael Cole said, which was thank you, Ivy Nile. Next. Like he was done with it towards the end of that match. He was just like, thanks. Thank you for coming, Ivy Nile. I think that's exactly what he said. So, I mean, that's what I see from her. I don't see it. I think she should have had more polish before she gets in the ring. A lot of these ladies should have. That especially getting pushed up. I mean, that's my response to you saying the Ronda Rousey bit, and also that you feel like she has time. You feel like she has a place here. I feel like she should be on a different show, and we should get one of their best people on this show. Somebody that's already polished and established. That's how I feel. Like if you're in the learning stages, you need to be on a different show. Because when you come to the main roster, you should be there. You should be AJ Styles when he got to this show. You should be those guys that are already there, not still learning on this show. This is a really bad place to continue to learn.
Fair enough. What you got? Mr. Zero? Uh-oh. Did we lose you? Oh, there he is. Okay.
Listen, fellas. I'm just gonna come out and tell you something. I like this match. So I'm gonna disagree with both y'all. John on the fact that I'm sorry, Johnny Tizzle, Jay Tizzle, McFrizzle. You said that she's better than Ronda Rousey. I disagree with that also.
It's called a fucking joke, but okay. Anyways,
hold on. I'm not attacking you, bro. I'm not attacking you. If you're hurt, man, you take it up with my publicist. We'll be in touch. But anyway,
no, it's all good.
But anyway, I'm gonna disagree with Mr. Cheese too. I mean, Travel Cheese. Cut the cheese. I'm gonna disagree with you too. I thought she showed some pretty good skill in this match. Probably Rhea did carry her through the match, but I mean, you don't get this is awesome chance if just one person's doing good. Two people gotta put a match together, and towards the end, this is awesome chance for coming through. Although as soon as they came through, Rhea ended that shit real quick and said, "Fuck that, I'm awesome." She said, "This isn't awesome. I'm awesome. I'm Rhea Ripley. I'm mommy. I'm mommy." So, I mean, and she didn't just end it regular. She gave Ivy now the Gunther finish. You know, she gave her the headbutt and then the knee to the face and then get over here and bam. You know, the Mortal Kombat
She gave her
finish.
the
As
Mortal
people like
Kombat
to call
finish.
it.
Yeah, that's what I kind of saw it too. I was like, she has a three-step finisher
Yeah.
too. It looked pretty damn clean. It's like, good
I thought
lord.
it was funny. I thought it was really funny though, because as soon as those like this is awesome chants
That
came
was
out,
it. Like, that was it. She turned.
it was over.
She put lights out. The party's over.
She said, "This is awesome. I'm awesome."
It said turn the lights out. The party's over. Match is over. We're done here.
Yeah.
And Rhea
She said, "This is my brutality."
And we move on. I will say her entrance is still one of my favorite in the business right now. The music, the presentation, it works for her.
You know,
This is why, like, I will say, whoever is going to beat her for that championship is going to have to be somebody on that caliber. Right now, it seems that they just have her on this track of trying to elevate some of this younger talent. For some, it did. For some, it hasn't worked, and for some, you hope that it does. I mean, I don't know. We'll just see how it goes. That's what they've been using her for. They've been using her to kind of help elevate the newer, younger talent here to see what they can do on a big stage like that. But she's otherworldly right now. She's on another planet. And once we get to the big time shows like Royal Rumble and WrestleMania, it's gonna have to be someone at that level. Otherwise, on that stage like that, it's not going to work unless that person is 100% ready for that huge moment. This was to go off of both of y'all's guys' points on that. This was her first singles match on the main roster. She had not competed in a singles match on the main roster, talking about Ivy Nile, until tonight, which I was like, oh yeah, that's right. Wow, okay. They gave her that nod really, really quick. But it's because they're using Rhea as a person that can maybe try to elevate the talent on that roster, because it really is, with the exception of maybe 2 or 3 people on that roster, it really is a bunch of young women there. It's just not terrible. It's not bad, but we'll just have to see how it goes. But once we get to now that we're past this, right? We got past it. Now it's time to set up the big gun contender for her, to give her that match that she deserves at a WrestleMania. Maybe a triple threat. Maybe Nia and Becky in a triple threat. Who knows, right? Or, I mean, I don't know. We'll have to see. The winner of the Royal Rumble will have a lot to say about that. And then
we can't make everything a triple threat at this point.
Yeah, like everything's gonna be a triple threat. Everything's just gonna be a 6-man. Throw it all. We'll see.
They gotta build up a legitimate contender for Rhea.
They definitely won't do a triple threat at Royal Rumble, because they need 30 women in the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, they don't have enough to cover with the roster they have on both of the shows, so they're gonna have to fill in with some NXT girls, and they're gonna have to fill in with some legends returns and whatnot to fill out that 30-person. It's usually why you don't really have any, except maybe one women's match at the Rumble. Usually at the Rumble you have three like matches, and then 2 Rumble matches that kind of fill out the card, and one of those is usually going to be the title match. And I would assume this is probably gonna be a SmackDown, the women's the WWE Women's Champion match there at the Royal Rumble, if you're gonna put one over there. So Rhea's gonna have the night off at the Rumble, and she'll see if the winner of the Rumble is gonna be her next opponent or not as we get closer to that. But yeah, I don't know. I think Rhea Ripley's on cruise control right now until after the Royal Rumble, and then we'll see where everything gets taken from there, with the Elimination Chamber in between as well. So then we go from that. We did have our Rock segment, which was the big shocker of the night. Then we go from that to what was the snoozer match of the night, the palate cleanser match before the main event, which was
No, it's a
Shayna-
bathroom break.
the bathroom break match, snoozer match, whatever you want to
That's
do.
what I need right now is a bathroom break.
And so, I mean, you can totally take one right now while we
Hey,
talk about this.
If you're still
Shayna-
watching, this
Shayna
is exactly what
Baszler,
you do when you see a match like this.
Oh, geez. So, so the tribal cheese is gonna go use the bathroom. I think he sits when he pees, but we'll have to ask him that question. But yeah, what a snoozer of a match! Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark versus Tegan Nox and Natty for. I mean, it was what it was, right? It was a very, very bleh match. And I was just like, can this end already? Because it's going on for too long. Or I felt like it was going on for too long. Zoe Stark and Shayna Baszler win with the Z360. And then that's it. I don't know where we go from here. I guess they're the number one contenders. Who the hell knows? What you got, Mr. Zero? Oh, Mr. Zero's falling asleep.
Match is over. Got it.
So match is over. Before we get to the main event, we did have a backstage. This didn't happen at this point, but during the show, we did have a promo segment for the new women's tag team champions as they're celebrating in the club, and are interrupted by Piper Niven and Chelsea Green in a just silly promo thing, showing that the champs are having a grand old time as the new champions. And I don't know, I guess they're going to try to invoke their rematch clause, and I hope that they don't, but but maybe they do. Maybe that's your Royal Rumble title match for the women's. Maybe it's the tag team title match. I hope not.
It's terrible.
Oh god. So that's all we have on that. So we move on to the main event. Move on to the main event. Time to wake up, Mr. Zero, because this main event was pretty damn good between Drew McIntyre and Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship. Pretty good match between Drew and Seth. Once again, the opening video package put together by WWE to set up this match was really, really good, using realistic footage for both gentlemen. I thought was a good little nice touch to make you feel the emotion that this rivalry has had over the past couple of weeks. This, for all intents and purposes, you would think is Drew's last chance. If he doesn't win here, he's not going to get any more shots at this title. So the both men fought like it. They fought their ass off. A lot of the story here was still focusing in on Seth Rollins' injured back, which I still want to know how hurt he actually is at this point in his career, and if he does really have a hurt back, like legitimately, like God,
he does.
The fact that this guy can still do the things that he does in the ring is very, very impressive, because you wouldn't find me doing things like he does if I had a hurt back. If I legitimately had like a herniated disc or anything like that, I wouldn't even be trying half the things that he does, and he still goes out there and does them pretty crisp. Seth Rollins is always on point, no matter if he's hurt or not. Commendable for that guy, for what he does. He deserves to have that world championship around his waist, regardless of whether or not you agree if the stories are good or not. The guy. He's one of the best. He's one of the best in the world, right? That's what we're about to be headed towards, that one. But good match here between the two guys. It gets as we're getting to the bones and the endings of this match and what's going to happen. We get Damian Priest's music, which I was like, oh hell, all right, here we go. But I thought tonight just sounds so weird. I don't think it's and sure enough, almost right away, Drew puts a dent into that one and takes Damian Priest and Dom out of the equation really quickly. But right before that, Seth Rollins is hit in the head with the Money in the Bank briefcase. After Drew takes care of business, he capitalizes on an opportunity, hits the Claymore, in which you think that's game over. And in one of what I thought was a brilliant near fall setup. Drew pulls the leg too far and actually cost himself the win by pulling Seth's legs into the ropes, which the ref sees and says, "Sorry, brah, rope break." That was the demise of Drew McIntyre, as then he goes ballistic, loses control, tries to do whatever he was going to do. I guess he was going to try to DDT Seth through the announce table. It's countered into a pedigree on the announce, a pretty nice looking pedigree on the table. Then pushes Drew back into the ring for a stomp. 1, 2, 3. Seth Rollins is still your world heavyweight champion in 2024. And that's got to be it for Drew. As far as being in the title scene at this point, that's got to be it. But what a way to go out though! Like, good match, good main event. The right guy won. Because I mean, you got to keep him hot going into WrestleMania if the CM Punk thing's gonna happen. So, but good stuff from both guys. For Damian Priest, it is what it is at this point. At some point, he's gonna fail an actual cash in. I just think that's where we're headed. But he made it clear tonight. I think he's got 6 months left on that contract to use it. So we'll see how it goes with that. But good match from these two guys. Good main event. Good way to end the show. What did you think, Mr. Zero? Did you like this main event?
I'd like to sing a song.
Okay.
Drew McIntyre, you are such a crybaby. You let your emotions get the best of you. You had the match, and you're so stupid. You put his foot on the rope, and then instead of capitalizing, you just acted like a crybaby again. Drew, you suck. And Drew, we're done with you. Anyway, let me tell you something. Seth Rollins, oh my gosh. Every time he does this thing from the top rope where he does that sunset flip, the one where he tore his ACL, oh my gosh, it gives me goosebumps all the way down my spine. And it looked like Drew was kind of trying to help him through that. So I was glad to see that. Don't want to see Seth get hurt. And then there was another spot where he jumped out of the ring and it looked like he, kind of had like an awkward landing. So that was a little scary for me too. All in all, the match was great. I was kind of wondering if this was Damian Priest night when his music hit. And I was like, oh. And then, funny enough, Drew McIntyre was like, nobody's going to ruin this for me. And I just pity the guy, man. I pity the guy. Yeah, I mean, if Drew McIntyre is going to be a true heel, he needs to drop that 1, 2, 3 crap. Or 3-2-1 with the crowd. He can't be interacting like that. Instead, he needs to act like a true heel, yelling at his opponent, get the hell up, and then go for the Claymore kick. That's how you deliver a beautiful Claymore as a dominant heel. But he just doesn't have the heel. He don't have it. The main event personality. He's lacking in all forms. Not all forms. He has the build. He's just lacking in a couple areas. Like Jey Uso needs to change up a couple things. Although unlike Jey Uso, he actually did have a match and performed tonight. But yeah, it was a great match. I enjoyed the match. Pedigree under the table. I thought Drew was gonna win this match though when he did hit that Claymore. Dumbass. Take his foot off the rope.
That was a great false finish. I was not expecting Seth to kick out because I was like, you just got hit with the Money in the Bank in the head, and then you got hit with the Claymore. Like that's it. That's game over, right? Like, it's not kicking out. My thought was, well, is Damien or someone gonna jump in real quick or pull the ref out or something? But then no, he just flipped him over too much. He just flipped him over and put his damn foot on the rope. Like, oh, jeez. But good false finish. I didn't see that one happening like that. What you got? Cheese?
I mean,
Give me something
nothing.
cheesy.
Yeah, there's nothing shocking anymore. That's one of the things I kind of miss about the old days.
Hmm.
Is we would get shocking things happening like on day one, right? Like just like
No
holy
pun intended.
something new, yeah, would happen, right? Um, and we don't get that here. You know, like I could digest like imagine this, right? He hits him with the briefcase. Drew hits the future shock, gets the pin 1, 2, 3, and then right after that he gets hit with the briefcase again 1, 2, 3, and Damien's the winner, right? And he's heading out day one as the new champion. Now that's not to say this won't set up a triple threat to Seth to get it back, so Seth can get it back before Mania. That's still something, and you eliminate the Money in the Bank question because the Money in the Bank thing is just hanging over us, and I do not want to see that shit played at all in WrestleMania, at all. I don't want to see that at all because it's just like you can only do so many false cash-ins before it's just like we saw that with Austin Theory. We're seeing it now again with what is it, Damian Priest. So I mean, the Money in the Bank's got to mean something. It can't be just a joke all the time. So I wouldn't have mind. I wouldn't have minded a shocking like, holy crap, Seth just dropped the belt, but he's gonna win it back. We already know, like he's gonna win it back, and let Damian have his time in the sun with as a champion for a few days, a week or whatever, and then just give it right back to Seth. Seth, I'm sure would have been good with that. But it would have been such a great shock for the fans of like, holy crap, like Damian cashed in, and it was well, Drew actually became champion first, and so Seth was all three of them were champions in one night. All three were champions in one night. How bizarre would have that been, right? Seth was a champ, Drew was the champ, and then Damian be the champ.
We've only seen that one time in WWE history.
Yeah. So how crazy like that could have been like such a great, I guess ending to the show of like leaving us with questions of like where the hell do we go from here, right? Like how do they get the belt back from Judgment Day? Would have been really cool, and they wouldn't have needed to use Money in the Bank at a big pay-per-view to steal the belt away. Seth's back really is hurt. It's not a work or nothing like that. I believe he's had several spinal fusions. I know he's tried I think it's stem cells, but it doesn't last very long. That's something that I know he said in the past. I think he said like Rey Mysterio swears by it. But as far as him, it doesn't last. It only works for a little while. I am really surprised that he takes the bumps that he does with that back being the way it is.
Yeah.
There was a tilt-a-whirl backbreaker that he took, and that one looked like it shit hurt, dude. Like that was like
Oh, yeah.
that one looked like it was like. I mean, even Seth's face looked like it hurt. So, overall, good match. I completely agree with what Zero said, which is Drew needs to just like not do the 3-2-1. That's just something I don't like. I have a really weird feeling that we're not going to see Drew McIntyre in a ring in 2025, WWE at least. I think he's planning on doing something else with his career, and it kind of makes sense. His career is just kind of sputtering here. It's not really moving too much further, and I don't think he's willing to be just like in the main event picture. I think he wants to be champ. So, overall, I would say good match. Yeah, I mean, there's there's not much else you can say except the fact that like WWE feels a little stale right now when it comes to surprises. There's a lot of surprise returns and there's a lot of surprise whatever, but when it comes to the belts,
I'm glad you clarified that because I was about to say, have you not been watching the last like 3 months? But okay, but you clarified that, so okay,
yeah.
okay.
With returns, there's a lot of surprises, but when it comes to like belts being exchanged and really truly surprising, is breaking the mold of like what we're gonna see. I mean, Seth won. Like he won clean after getting hit with the fucking Money in the Bank in the face and Future Shock, and he still won clean. Like I don't know, man. I feel like there's like wrestling has gotten a little too predictable lately, and I'm hoping to see. And even with the returns, a lot of those are like leaked. I mean, hell, you knew The Rock was gonna be on TV tonight, right? So like we knew CM Punk was gonna come back. We knew Randy Orton was coming back. I mean, I think that there's just been like a lot of leaks, and
Well, that's
so
just
it's
yeah.
been a little bit more transparent, I guess you can say. But especially in the title picture, I think that that's probably the worst part. I want to see more people be champions, right, or something, or like there needs to be how do you legitimize people that are never going to win belts because the top of the top are just going to keep holding on to the belts and squashing them. So, you know, what else? What else can you want? But for people to
Now,
win belts, for
yeah.
instance, if Rhea keeps a belt and just beats whoever she beats forever, because right now she doesn't have any legitimate contenders. I don't consider Becky to be a legitimate contender, and neither is Nia Jax. Nia Jax, right? So, but how do you make them legitimate contenders if they're never going to actually beat somebody that
Yeah.
good? So they have a problem on their hands right now, and you need surprises. Surprises is like, that's how you built Jinder Mahal. And for better or for worse, Jinder Mahal he was legitimate at the time. And even now, you would probably say that like he could go out and win a championship, maybe not on a different stage, but maybe an intercontinental championship. But before that, he was a jobber. He was just a jobber. I mean, granted, he was before steroids and shit, but Jinder Mahal, he was a surprise champion, and that actually helped solidify him as he belonged in the WWE. So sometimes surprises is the best way to get these guys that are like not as good up to the top, because that's the only other way you can do that. Like for instance, Damian Priest. You're not going to probably see him win a belt clean straight up through some crazy buildup. It's going to be like a steal, like a heist. And that's what these guys, that's what surprises are for. And so that's what Money in the Bank is for. It's for a heist. So I mean, we need a little bit more surprises, I think. We need a little bit more, just a little bit more flavor, less predictability.
Yeah, in a world that we live in now in today's wrestling day and age, we live in a world where we can find out what's probably going to happen on our cell phones within the first couple of hours of the show if you really wanted to, or things like the dirt sheets. Everybody has a dirt sheet at this point, and can find out information and get all the information. So a surprise like that wouldn't necessarily hurt. I do think that whatever it is that they're going for here, they do like to for their champions to hold the belt for an extended period of time. A lot of these title reigns have been very long,
Yep.
namely Roman Reigns, who's held the title for over 3 years. You have Seth Rollins,
Yeah.
who's been the champion since he won it.
Rhea,
Gunther's the longest reigning
Gunther,
Intercontinental Champion. Rhea's been
Io.
the champion since. Well, she just won it at SummerSlam, so it's
Yeah.
that's not that long. But still, even before that, you had Bianca who had it for a while, and excuse me, the United States Championship is probably the only one that gets kind of flopped around a little bit from time to time. But I think the hard part is, and I know because there's a right way to do it and there's a wrong way to do it, right? The wrong way is what now I'm going to be very, very controversial here for just a minute. And you can agree with me or disagree with me, but just listen for just a minute. We all loved the Attitude Era, right? And all that. We loved what it was all about. It was fun. It was great. Blah 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 blah. The one thing that was so bad about that era was that the championship was a hot potato. Everybody was the champion for a month or for a week or for 2 weeks or for 2 months or for a day or for it was hot potato time. That was the only thing that was kind of bad about it. So when it comes to doing stuff like that, I think that's the wrong way to do it because it doesn't make the championship mean very much of anything if you're just going to give it to somebody every 24 hours. But I'm with you when it's like there's a right way to do it, right? Where you don't have to have a champion be the champion for a year to make that championship matter. You can still make it matter in like a month to 2 months. But you do have to mix in some championship reigns that are longer than that to make it to legitimize those champions, right? Right now, all three of the top titles are held up with long reigns, and I think that if you do it for too much longer, it might come at a detriment to the titles themselves and to the people shooting for those titles. But I don't think that the answer is hot potato. So you have to find that happy middle ground. I don't want to see the World Heavyweight Championship change hands every month or every couple of weeks. That to me just sounds like you don't give a shit about that title anymore. And even before so, when the old heavyweight championship was a thing, that's what that championship became. And did anybody give a shit about it towards the end of that title's reign? No, because everybody fucking had it, right? So there's a way to do it the right way and there's a way to do it the wrong way. And I hope that they can figure it out. I think for now, we're like this because they're trying to get to those WrestleMania stories. I just hope that after that maybe we do get a little bit of different flavors out here because, I like I always say, I like a little bit of salsa on my potato chips, but I'm not going to eat the same salsa every time. I want to change it up. Sometimes I want spicy. Sometimes I want mild. Sometimes I sometimes I don't want salsa. Sometimes I want queso. But, I don't try to change it up every day. But we'll have to see where it goes. But, yeah, I would have been okay with Drew winning tonight. I would have been perfectly fine with that if they decided to put the title on him tonight and then have him hold it till the Rumble or something or till Elimination Chamber or whatever. I would have been fine with that. But I think the reason they probably didn't do it is because, one, I don't know if they have a future commitment from Drew right now. If there's no future commitment from Drew, like as far as a contract is concerned, you can't put a title on somebody that has a question mark like that. It's something you just don't do because you know what I mean. Like you just don't do it if there's not that thing there. That's what happens. And so, and then the other part of it is I think that they want to continue to build Seth strong if the opponent for him at WrestleMania is going to be CM Punk. If you have him lose now, maybe the strength of Seth dwindles a little bit, and now that best in the world matchup that they're gonna put on T-shirts, that they're gonna put on everything on billboards, is not gonna be as hot if they have Seth lose the title now. I guess, right? Obviously that's what they're doing because they had him win tonight. So, and I don't think he's gonna lose now in between now and WrestleMania. So, it is what it is. But we'll see how it goes. Maybe after WrestleMania we'll get more of that, changing of the guard kind of thing a little bit, and maybe we can have new champions and new stories and things like that. Because you're right, eventually, if you keep going down that road for too long, it does get kind of stale, and then you end up having the John Cena effect, which for all the good John Cena did, there was a point in his career where those stories got really stale because it was just John Cena and nobody else. Nobody else could be the champion. Nobody else could be at the top. And you don't want that situation again, right? You don't want that. So we'll have to see how it goes. You look, you got something to say, Mr. Zero? What you got?
I was gonna disagree with you a little bit on the Attitude Era hot potato remark.
It was a hot potato. Look at the title reigns between 98 and 2000. It changed hands 50 fucking times.
Okay, but let's look at the names. We got Steve Austin, The Rock.
Well, of course.
Chris Jericho. Big
Eddie
big
Guerrero.
Names. Eddie Guerrero, The Undertaker.
I'm not counting that one because that's after the Attitude Era. But anyways,
Undertaker. You got even Mick Foley. Or I don't know if Mick Foley won, but
oh, he did. He won 3 times, mind you. In a month.
You know what I mean? Kane, you know what I mean? Those guys had a
Kane won it for 24 hours.
It still established him as a dominant, the big red machine.
He was already dominant.
But
I see what you're trying to do. I appreciate it.
But all those guys are big names now. That's one thing to remember. All those guys are big names now.
Yeah, even
they were already though.
Era, yeah, even like the ruthless aggression era, I think if it's okay if you have the title change at least 2 to 3 times a year, because that gives 4 months of solid, I'm the top dog, and then you give another 4 months to that guy. Well, the guy that
Mm-hmm.
was top dog
Even change
before,
back.
well, yeah, the guy that was top dog before is still vying for that position. So you get that fun rivalry between them, the guy trying to get his title back, and then you get another challenger that you're building up at the same
Mm-hmm.
time. So in a year you still have three guys that are possibly the face of your company or your show, and maybe with the world heavyweight title. Um, I think it was on SmackDown when it died out, and they just didn't have any more talent. Or they were the B show. Let's be honest. SmackDown at the
Mm-hmm.
time was the B show.
Sure.
And Raw had all the big guns. You had
Mm-hmm.
Triple
Yeah.
H, Shawn Michaels, John Cena, Edge. Only time the World Heavyweight title was um, relevant on SmackDown was when either Batista,
Mm-hmm.
Taker, or Edge when he was there had it. When they put it on Rey Mysterio, nobody gave a damn.
Sure. Yeah. That's all I was just saying. I'm just saying it doesn't need to become a hot potato again. But there's a
No, it
happy
shouldn't
there's a
flip like
there's a
12
ha-
times
there's
in
a
a
ha-
year.
there's
No.
a happy medium that you can find that I think can work with it. Yeah, because I mean, what did they say that there's been 50 WWE champions in history?
Yeah.
There was only like 10 before 98. And
But you
then
know what?
and
though?
then and then and
I
then
don't
and then by the
think that's more
time
fun.
by the time 2002 came around, they were already like at 45. I'm kidding, but but no, I'm
But
saying I'm
I was
saying
gonna say,
I'm saying you can find a happy medium that works. I don't think everybody needs to hold the title for 6 months to a year. I don't think that's necessary, but that's why I say I think we're just in a holding pattern until we get to WrestleMania, really, with the titles at least. Like the titles aren't going to change hands until that time. I think that's just what's going to happen. Now maybe one of the other ones will, like the Intercontinental or the United States title, but the world titles, I think they're set on who they are on until WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Although
I,
it would be extremely shocking if that didn't happen, if that changed. The only one that would happen though would have to be Seth. I don't think Roman would lose his title between now and WrestleMania, but Seth could still. He might. I don't know. I don't think they are, but he could. It would be shocking.
you could always give the title, like, lose it back to the person that's kind of like the main person. I think it's really a bad idea for them to put Seth under such like a heavy workload, because from what I saw, he doesn't just do like every Monday night he has a match, but he does like so many live shows on the sides too, and the man is putting a ton of miles. And if you don't build somebody up that's like, like you said, he's the face of the show. If you don't build somebody up just in case he does get hurt, like then you start having problems with legitimate, like who gives a fuck about these other guys? Because you say stuff like, do you care about the title? And I think sometimes the question is more, do you give a fuck about these other guys? Because right now, Kevin Owens is kind of like he's good, but he's not like, you don't give a fuck about him because he's lost so many times, right? Like, you gotta, if these guys aren't on their, like Daniel Bryan on their way up, then it's really, really hard to give a fuck about them if they get the title. So I think the only thing that works is like, you could have Seth be the holder, but Damian can steal it for like a month, and then he fucking loses it back. You know what I mean? Like, it loses it back to Seth. Even Drew, right? He might be able to steal it or something like that. But then at the end of the day, he just can't hold on to it. Like, real champions can hold on to it longer. But I think at the opposite end of that, I think titles exchanges are more exciting, and long reigns are way more boring. I think it gets stale in like really long reigns.
Sure.
Because I mean, and even with Romans, right? Like I would say, like Romans, it got to a point where it was like, holy fuck! Like, when the fuck is he gonna lose this belt? Luckily, Roman is really entertaining, and right, like it felt like never, right? Luckily, Roman has made his title run really entertaining. But I can't sit here and say like, oh, that was really good for all the other wrestlers in the back. It really wasn't. It's not good for them because you stop caring about those guys.
Mm-hmm.
Some guys can't be buried, like Cody Rhodes, but like there's value into having some exchanges. I don't think 12 exchanges per year is good. Like that definitely isn't a good thing because it kind of devalues the championship, right? Like if
Sure.
anybody can have it, it's just like you. It's kind of like football, right? You can be good on any given Sunday, and maybe you might win it or something like that. But I think that if we don't get away from this format that we're at, we're never gonna have those like 9-time champions. We're never gonna have those like 15-time champions because some of these guys should be champions, with the apostrophe
Multiple.
S already, but they're
Mhm.
not because the belt just hasn't been fucking changing. I mean, there's a couple of guys that we probably say should have already been champions, right? And Cody hasn't. Cody's been back for about a year and a half. He hasn't won a big title, and it's just because it eludes him, dude. Like, and the championship holders, they just didn't lose, right? Because that belt got swallowed up by Roman. Both belts got swallowed up by Roman. And there was no fucking belts to win. Even the Usos held the belt for so long to where like there was no legitimate tag teams, and every single one that had some legitimacy, they got buried because people stopped giving a fuck about them because they just couldn't get over the hump. You
And-
gotta have some
Yeah.
Unless
some surprise, some winners.
unless your name
Yeah,
is
like-
unless your name is Brock Lesnar.
True, he can come back and win it whenever.
Like LA, I see LA Knight losing steam, man, soon. I love the
He
guy,
just win.
but he should have had the title at least 2 times already. You know what I mean? And that would have made him more legitimate. Fans would have, I guess, I mean, because he
Well,
could have
well,
main evented multiple shows, and
Yeah.
and then the thing about having multiple champions all having long reigns, like, come on, the only title that's changing hands is the tag team, and nobody really gives a fuck about them.
The
I mean-
women's tag team at that. It's not even the
I mean-
men's right now like that much.
I mean, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Like I said, I think we're in a holding pattern until WrestleMania. Then after WrestleMania, I think we'll have a clearer picture about what we do with our world titles as we go forward. I guess that's just where we're at right now. Hopefully, maybe 2024 will be the year that we see a couple more people be world champions, and we'll just have to see how it goes. There's a
They're
lot of
about to do
guys.
that same
There's a
shit
lot
with
of guys.
Kevin Owens.
There's a
I'm
lot of
sorry.
there's a lot of game. There's a lot of things like you said where there's a lot of names that probably deserve to at least have a reign here or there. Will we get those in 2024? I guess remains to be seen. But I think for now they got a hold on. They got this pattern that they got, and they're gonna hold true to it until WrestleMania, I think. And then once we're done there, we'll find out who wins the titles and who doesn't, and we'll go from there, I guess. But not to get too long in the tooth about that, we can talk about that, and we can talk more in depth about that another time. But we got to give our final grades before we get out of here. Final grade for this show for me was an A, solid, good, fun show. A couple of things that were obviously the kind of just omitting that tag team match because it didn't even really have a good have a proper
Can't omit
finish.
it.
So I'm just gonna omit it because we didn't even get a chance to see the actual ending to it. But other than that, I mean, it was exciting as for a pseudo what they build as a special event Raw. It definitely sold on that. Obviously, The Rock returning was a big part of that. 2 championship matches in this, so can't ask any better for that. I give it an A. I was entertained from start to finish. What you got? Cheese? What's your grade on the show?
I mean, look, I can't just throw a match out because it ended in injury. It affects the show. It affects the timing of the show. There was a couple of matches that weren't that good, right? So I think for me the Shayna, right? The Shayna match wasn't very good. Jay and Imperium wasn't very good. Say what you want about the Ivy Nile Rhea. It was okay. I thought it was okay. I think the best match of the night was the first match and the last match, right? So Seth and Becky versus Nia Jax. Promos were okay. I was lukewarm at best. I think I'm gonna give it just a B. I think it was an okay night, but again, we're missing some of the better competitors on this show, so maybe that's probably has something to do with it. And we're giving new talent chances, and they're trying. They're for better for worse. They're mixed in with the old talent, but I mean, it was okay. It was okay. So, I'm giving it a B. It's an okay show. Not what I expect from a New Year's show. Definitely not.
Okay. What you got, Mrs. Zero?
Turn your radio down. Turn your radio down. Let me tell you something. Any show that has The Rock of all people coming back and electrifying the crowd like he does is an A show. And my match of the night was The Rock against the returning WWE champion Jinder Mahal. That was the match of the night. Rock bottom, people's elbow, whatever it was, and it was just beautiful to see him back. All bald headed and
Looking like a
what is it? Bald headed, oiled up, whatever. If you're Samoa, what Mr. Zero is cooking.
La 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 la, as it used to do, right? It used to do that. Look at the tongue. Look at the tongue.
Oh no.
Yes.
As far as where The Rock sits at the table, it don't matter because he's gonna be having himself some pie. If you know what I'm saying.
Ooh, on that note, we're gonna go. We're gonna end it on that note. But good show, good fun stuff. But y'all let us know what y'all think in the comments. Make sure to like, subscribe to the show. And we will be back here for Friday night's special event of SmackDown, which is being billed as New Year's Revolution, where we're going to have the triple threat number one contenders match for the right to face Roman Reigns at the Royal Rumble. So we'll review that show, see how that goes. We also have the finals coming up of the United States title tournament between Kevin Owens and Santos Escobar. We'll see how that goes, and we'll see if maybe there are even more surprises on New Year's Revolution. But yeah, be sure to tune in on Saturday for that show. But we'll be back then. But until then, I'm the hostess with the mostest, the mean bean, Johnny T. That over there is Mr. Trivial Cheese, and that down there is Mr. and Mrs. Nesbit Zero, whatever he wants to be called nowadays. Mrs. Love, Nesbit, whatever. But anyways, guys, we'll see y'all next time.
Next time. Thanks for tuning in.